What is up, everybody? Today we are doing the hero ranking for Maria Hill. Remember, this is my own opinion, and this is my first impressions of her and her cards. So it's going to change along the way as we grow older into the game, grow more into the game, play her more often, however you want to say it. But before we begin, shameless plug, please like and subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out already, please check out my book, Ring Chosen. It is on Amazon. The links are in the deals below. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so our first card, I forgot to get my list out. Hold on real quick. Alright, here we go. Alright, first we're going to be looking at her hero card. Her hero card is going to be a number 4, up there in the 4s. Let's see if this will load. Alright, she's a 2/1/2 shield spy. Each ally you control gains a shield trait. Pretty good. Reassignment, action, move one all-purpose counter from a shield support to another shield support. So once you get all your shield supports out, her ability becomes bonkers, especially with some of her other cards. Her stat line is pretty decent, I think. 2/1/2, and the 1's pretty low because if you have the Iliad out there, that's 5 damage each turn right there. That's why this is a 4. I like it. Hand size 5, hit points 9. Moving on to Alter Ego. Right here, that is going to be a 3. Back here. 3 cost recovery. You may include a maximum number of copies of 3 shield supports in your deck from aspects other than your chosen aspect. Action, exhaust Maria Hill. Search your deck for a shield support and add it to your hand. So basically at the start of the game you can have, actually, start of the game and whenever you're an Alter Ego, you can exhaust Maria Hill to get 7 cards. So this allows you to pay for those heavy 6 cost cards, as long as you can afford to do so. Moving on, we are next going into Nick Fury. Nick Fury is going to be a 2, mainly because, well, let's read the card first. 4/2/2/3. Response after Nick Fury uses a basic power, place 1 all-purpose counter on our shield support. This is a really good response, I think. But the reason it's a 2 is because I never really got to play him. I think I played him once in my Digging Deep episode. Please check that out, where I take Maria Hill through all 4 aspects. But there was other things I wanted to get out before I got him out, like extra supports or extra upgrades and stuff like that. So I wanted to get him out, but I just couldn't at the time. That's why he's a 2. Moving on to All Points Bulletin. All Points Bulletin is also going to be a 2. Where is it? What's this at? Alright, to All Points Bulletin. Tactic. Hero action. For each shield support you control, choose one. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. Deal 1 damage to an enemy. Energy resource. Now, it's a very good card, but whenever I had it in my hand, I either only had 1 support or none at all. It's very, like if you build out really good, I did use it for 4 damage before, for 2 for 4. That's pretty good. But that was the only time I actually used it for that purpose. Otherwise, every other time I had it in my hand, I wanted to play something else in order to build myself out. So that's why this is a 2. There it is again. And on the double I put as a 3. Ready any number of shield supports with a combined printed cost of 6 or less. This is very good for getting Iliad out there and dealing 10 damage at once. Or whatever else you need to use it for. I mainly use it for damage. Moving on to reinforcements. Reinforcements I put as a 3 as well. 1 cost event. Action, choose any number of shield supports with a combined printed cost of 6 or less. Place 1 all-purpose counter on each of those supports. So this was very good for keeping Iliad out there. If you watch my games, anytime I had that out there, I kept it out as long as possible in order to keep dealing damage to MODOK to free the people in the holding cells. That's basically how I used Maria Hill for that. There's 3 copies. Moving on to the hard call. The hard call is going to be a 2 because it's very, I think, situational. Discard a shield support you control. Deal X damage to each enemy, where X is the printed cost of the discarded support mental resource. So 2 costs for 6 damage if you're discarding a 6 cost support. So pretty good, but I feel like it's going to be one of those cards where you play when you're pushing for victory. It's not going to be one unless you have a minion out there that's super strong. But it's not going to be, I think it's going to be one you hold on to until you're pushing. Moving on to special funding. Special funding, it's going to be a 3. I love resource cards or anything that makes resource. But there's also a good perk. After you spend this card to pay for a shield support, place 1 all-purpose counter on that support after it enters play. So you're adding additional to what it comes into. Moving on to support staff. Support staff is going to be 2. Uses 3 staff counters. Exhaust support staff and remove 1 staff counter from it. Generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the shield trait. Mental resource. It's a very good card, but there are other cards I wanted to play while playing. Like when I was built out and I actually had this card, it was very good, but I had to get there in order to play it. Hope that makes sense. But if this was multiplayer, I think, and you're playing with shield other players, this would be very good to help support your teammates. But as I'm mainly a solo player, all right. Moving on to the Iliad. Iliad is going to be a numeral 4, all the way up there. 6 cost support, shield vehicle uses 3 mission counters. Exhaust the Iliad and remove 1 mission counter from it. Choose, deal 5 damage to enemy, remove 4 threat from the scheme, heal 3 damage from an identity. Energy, resource. Very good card. My favorite in her kit, which I'm sure it's everybody's. But this is when you're built out, this can stay on the field for a long time and continue to be used for multiple reasons. That's why that's a 4. Life model decoy is going to be a 3. It's very good to get out there, and it's an interrupt. It's not forced or anything. When an enemy attacks you, discard life model decoy to prevent all damage from that attack. Very good. Very situational, I guess, whenever you need to use it. But that's why it's a 3. Very good card. Very good to have out there when you can. Last but not least, we got Shield Director. Well, actually, this may be my favorite card at first. That is going to be a 4. Action, exhaust Shield Director. Place 1 all-purpose counter on a shield support. If you have the Iliad and you have this out there, you're never going to get rid of the Iliad at all. You're constantly going to be able to use it each turn. I like to have this card out as soon as I can, if I can. Other than that, that is all her cards ranked. Pretty decent, I think. I enjoyed her a lot more than Nick Fury once I figured her out. Very good, very strong, I think. And overall, I give her a 7.5 out of 10. Please let me know in the comments if you agree or if you think she should be higher or lower out of 10, or which cards you think should be higher and which cards you think should be lower. Let me know in the comments. As always, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Deuces.